do you regain your hope when life gets hard? You know, hope is an expectation that something good is going to happen. It's hopeful. We use hope, you know, in a lot of different ways, but real hope is a decision that you're just going to expect something good. But when life happens, you can lose hope. Why do we lose hope? Well, there's many different reasons. It might be that you've just had a disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. People disappoint us. Things happen in our life. We have losses. Maybe the loss of a loved one, a pet, dreams. We have to grieve the loss of dreams, but it can also rob us of our hope. You can even lose your own sense of self and lose hope. Might be uncertainty, not knowing what tomorrow's going to bring. I did a whole video on fear of the unknown, and a lot of us are there in this economy. There's so many things that we lose hope about. So, what do you do when you lose your hope? Well, there's some things that you can do. But what's the cost of hopelessness? Why should I get up? You know, why bother? You lose your motivation. You don't care if you connect with others. You just get to where you don't really care. And it comes out as loss of interest in activities, depression. I see a lot of hopeless people in the world today, and it's sad. I certainly know what it's like when this hopelessness creeps in. Sometimes you don't even know that that's what's wrong. You can be trying to deal with life and your struggles and the obstacles, and you work to overcome them, and you know you stay grounded in your faith and all of this stuff, but you just kind of lost hope of expecting anything good in the future. I love this little book. The Obstacle is the Way. My son sent me this book, and I pretty much devoured the whole thing. Just read a little excerpt from this. Being trapped is just a position, not a fate. You get out of it by addressing and eliminating each part of that position through small, deliberate actions, not by trying and failing to push it away with superhuman strength. I've certainly learned this in my life, and I can tell you, I know what this is like, because last week I kind of realized I'd lost some hope. Over the last 2 months, I've been struggling with a situation of a choice someone made that has really affected my life, And I've had fear of the unknown, the uncertainty of what the outcome was going to be. And I still had faith that I'd be okay, but I didn't really have a lot of hope of the way this was going to turn out. And I'm still in the messy middle of that. But there were some things that happened last week, and it made me realize that I'd kind of lost my hope, which spurred this video that I'm doing. A lot of people lose hope. It's nothing to be ashamed of. If that's you and you feel hopeless, talk to somebody. Reach out for professional help. It's a dangerous place to be when you don't have hope. You know, it doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you're human. We all, at times in our walk in this life, struggle with losing hope. So I've been there. And I kind of realized it last week. And there were some things that happened that kind of provided insight for me. And I've been doing the things that I know to do. A lot of people think because I'm a therapist and have 30 years of recovery and a 12-step program that I should have my act together. Well, I know the things to do and I have the tools to do those things. And because of awareness and continuing to seek and those sort of things, I kind of will pinpoint what's going on. What do you do when hope slips away? Well, I try to shift my focus because I don't like that hopeless feeling. It's heavy and dark, and it affects my everyday life. And a lot of times I don't know what's going on. It's the reason I would talk to someone else. But I shift my focus. I change my perspective. Can I be okay? Can I do something about this? I might sit down and write. What's some action that I can take that's going to spark this hope? It only takes a spark. You know, I was a Girl Scout, and we used to sing the song, and I sang it at church camp. It only takes a spark to start a fire going. That's all it takes to get hope going. Just a little spark that things might be different. I make a decision. I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to be okay regardless of what someone else does or what the situation is. And so I shift, start small, one little small action. Take the action. I write about it. I find out what actions I might need to take, and I take those. And there's been, something that I feel like that I need to up my game about. And so I been wanting to do this, and I've been praying about it, I've been thinking about it. And last week when I realized that I didn't have a lot of hope for the way this is going to turn out, but I took action and I did something and I made a decision and I did some things to head in that direction that I feel like has been divinely inspired for me to do. And because I've had this other stuff going on, I've just been surviving, trying to get through this tough time. Well, when I started taking the action, things began to shift. And with those actions, I felt more in power. You see, hopelessness comes from a point of pain. It is dark and it is heavy and it can weigh me down. But when I take the action to head in a direction, make the decision, take the action, I come from a place of power, personal power. I can do this and I can change this. I can't change what's going on. I have no power over it. But I can change my perspective, my feelings, and my thoughts about it. But if I just sit in it, I fought keeping myself out of the pit. I haven't gone to the pit, which is a place I've been before. in the pit. But I have felt weighed down. And that went away the minute I took the action. I've talked to other people about what's going on and how I felt. Those safe people. Here's one thing I want you to hear. Even when it feels like your hope is gone, it can always be rebuilt. Even that small spark. It can grow into something powerful. I'm grateful today. I have all the information I would need. I searched YouTube, I watched some stuff about hope, and I've also watched some other stuff to educate myself about this new adventure I'm embarking on. And it's so funny, when I started taking the action, God opened some doors for me, because I wondered, how am I going to have time to do this? But I really want to do it. I really feel like God's leading me to do this. And I didn't have a lot of time to do what I'm thinking about doing. And then yesterday, I found out some news that's going to free me up to have the time to do what I want to do. I really want to offer supportive chats. Not coaching, not therapy, just support. And offer it at a lower price point so that I can work with more people. Because I know economic times are hard. And if I'm struggling and feel that my hope is waning, then there's a lot of you out there that are. And so I'm working on this. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take me. You know, if you want to find out what I do, I have a webpage. You can go over there. I sell ebooks. I've written 5 ebooks. Or you can get them all together. I do coaching. And I work 2 days a week and do therapy in a counseling office. But I just feel like people need to be seen and heard. And they just need a safe place to maybe be able to talk about those things. Their hopelessness, their struggles, their disappointments, their fear of the unknown of what the future may bring, their loss of dreams, and to work on maybe creating some new dreams. And, you know, my channel here is to help you learn to have a better relationship with yourself so that you can walk through life. Life's not easy. Mine certainly hasn't been. And I try to remember those times when I felt despair and hopelessness, and the things that happened that sparked that hope, and how my life is different. The worst thing that I thought ever happened to me in my life ended up being the best thing that ever happened, because I sought help. And through that catalyst of seeking help, my life began to change. Because I started working on my insides, and gradually my environment changed. This is a bump in the road. Yeah. It's been really sad. I probably cried more than in the last 2 months than I have in a long time. It's a lot of grief. You know, I pick a word every single year for the year. And I picked the word receive. Because, you know, I can give real easy, but it's hard for me to receive. And, you know, I was thinking receiving like good things and opportunities and financial gain and abundance, and what I have received this year has been grief. Now, last week I got to where I was grateful for the struggle. And when I get there, that's when the shift happens. When I can thank God for what I'm walking through. He's not punishing me. It's just life. Life happens. And I have to use the tools I have today to walk through that. This is the third time I've tried to make this video. It's been a big struggle. I'm grateful for my YouTube tribe, my community I've built on here. They inspire me and encourage me. I'm grateful for close friends. I have an accountability partner, and you know who you are, and she has walked through this struggle with me. And I call her up, and I do some therapeuting with her. That's what I call it. Just, it's therapeuting, and I feel better. Sometimes she offers me some advice, and sometimes she just listens. And I'm grateful to those people. Some of you don't even know how you've helped me. I watched Simply Debbie Sue, and she has written these little stories, and she read a story last Friday that just really touched me. Check out her channel. And then in the mornings, I hop on to Sally D's reality. She does Sunrise with Sally. And last Wednesday, there was a devotional that she read that just really, really helped me. Sometimes you don't know that one person that you might touch. And if by me sharing my struggles and what I'm going through and how I'm working through those helps you, then I've done my due diligence here. If you like what I share, please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell me what you're struggling with. If you want to do a support chat, email me. I'll email you back. Comment. I'll comment back. That's what this is about. Us supporting each other. And the most important thing is to be you on purpose.